Hi guys, welcome back to SoftPower Lifestyle. I hope you are feeling fabulous today. If you didn't check out my last video, that was my first video where we sort of unpack what SoftPower Lifestyle is, what I want to achieve, and then we get into the topic of feeling guilt, shame, or fear when putting yourself first. If this is for you, then this will hit. Go watch that. Today, I'm going to dive straight into it. I always just get to the point. Today, I want to talk about tying your self-worth to how much you do for people and how we can unlearn that behavior. We have to go back to where that comes from and where that starts, and it's always with your childhood programming. And I think a lot of parents make this mistake, and it's funny because I'm not a parent at all. So, I'm just someone with an opinion. As an ex-child, this is what I have to say about parenting. But I think a lot of parents do it by accident. They only praise their child when their child does something good or when their child delivers something, and they accidentally condition their child's brain to only feel worthy when they are giving or like achieving something or being useful. And I think some parents don't do it on purpose at all. But then I think that also stems from the generational trauma in certain cultures where they grew up with caregivers who didn't have more emotional intelligence than that. And so that's just taught behavior. So I just want to unpack this today because the new generation of older sisters, emotional caregivers, the parentified, adultified older siblings need to break free from this so that we don't pass it on, but also so that we can start living a life that is for us and like way more valuable and fulfilling. So if we really unpack how you kind of develop with a brain that is programmed to think you are only valuable or worthy when you are useful to someone or when you're offering or giving something up, we have to go back to the fact that maybe the only attention that you got, the only positive attention, or the only times that you felt loved was when you were in fact giving some of yourself up, whether it be physically, emotionally, or even mentally. And that's why now you kind of don't understand how the hell you could feel worthy in any other scenario. Like, if that gets taken away, how do you feel confident and good? And how do you feel like you are deserving of much else if you're not giving yourself, or if you're not, being selfless? And so let's unravel that, because the reason we kind of developed that for some of us is because it's a survival instinct. As a human being, being loved and feeling comfortable and safe is innate in our survival. We need that to survive. It's one of those characteristics. It's why people are always chasing love, and people don't want to be alone and things like that, and they tolerate certain things. So it's totally valid and normal. First of all, don't be hard on yourself. Like, it's normal for you to feel safe when you feel loved. And if you tie love to how much you give or how useful you are, because that's the only time you've ever got it, then obviously that's how your brain's going to perceive it, and that's totally normal. But what if I told you that you could just break free from that, and that you can show up and wake up every morning knowing you are worthy of whatever you want, and you don't have to give anything first to receive it? It's not selfish to kind of stop performing that. It's just about self-respect. It's going to be uncomfortable at first because you're going to even feel triggered, because you have this predisposition to believe that you're only loved when you're giving. But if you ride out that discomfort, I promise you the other side of the rainbow is going to be amazing, because you're going to be able to show up and wake up feeling worthy of anything that you want. And once you break from that mental barrier, the world is your oyster, babe. The world is your oyster. And I'm literally smiling because I remember the feeling of just that being lifted, and just literally feeling like I can achieve anything, I can do anything I want, I can set any goals that I want. And it's just so liberating and exciting. So when you start sitting with the discomfort of either saying no to things, or detaching from always doing stuff for others to feel love and things like that. When you sit in that discomfort, you just have to affirm yourself. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just building a new sense of self-worth based on who you are becoming. I think before I broke free from this, my self-worth was very tied to how much I gave. How can I help? What can I do for you? Do you need help? Let me know. I can be there. Thinking about it now makes me just cringe. But even like in friendships, you feel like you have to overexert yourself. In relationships, it's even worse, because when you're in that vibration, you just attract, as a woman, you attract needy men that will literally steal you and take everything you got if you're willing to give it up. So that puts you in a dangerous dynamic in relationships as well. And I felt like I also had dynamics where because I tied my self-worth to how much I could do for someone, that person will also get frustrated because they're like, leave me alone. Like, you're doing too much, So I think it can go both ways. But once you learn your self-worth just by showing up and just loving yourself and knowing that you are worthy, just when you wake up in the morning and breathe, then you're going to attract people that align with that and that don't expect you to overexert yourself or overgive to show you their love or to show you, the comfort that you deserve. Self-love and self-worth is the part of you that still believes that you're valuable, even when you mess up, even when no one's clapping, and definitely even when you're not doing anything for anyone. It's not really necessarily about a mindset thing. It's more of a relationship that you need to build with yourself. You need to literally talk to yourself. I'm worthy of this. I deserve this. Affirm with yourself that you are worthy of whatever it is. You're worthy of rest and you don't have to earn it. You're worthy of whatever gift or whatever. You don't have to earn it. You're worthy of a nice experience. You don't have to earn it. If you ever thought, I only feel good about myself when I'm being useful, productive, or liked, that isn't self-worth. That is conditional value. It's exhausting. It's just like putting your value around parameters that are completely outside of yourself. You're basically relying on people around you giving you little jobs and tasks to do in order for you to feel worthy. When I put it in that dynamic, it sound disgusting? Confidence is what you show the world, and that's why they say confidence doesn't have to be real. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to feel confident to show confidence. But self-worth is about how you treat yourself when no one's watching. It's about how you treat yourself behind closed doors. What are the thoughts racing in your mind when something bad happens or when you fail? When I was still heavily working on myself and going to therapy, one of the things that really completely changed my mindset and my life was a self-compassionate approach. My therapist made me read this book. I've forgotten the exact name. I think it's the self-compassionate mind approach to self-confidence. I'll put it here for you. I recommend you buy that. It will change your life. You can take one or two things away from that book and it will change how you think, literally. And it's especially important for the people that grew up without compassion. And for a lot of us, especially if you come from a minority background, there is not a lot of compassion involved in some of our cultures. When you fail, or like when you're a child and you make a mistake, people act like you should have known better already. But it's like, I've been here for 5 years. I'm 5 years old. I have no experience. How would I know? I'm learning life. But you were brutalized for your mistakes, and that led you to have an internal voice that is really mean to you. But that internal voice literally is just probably whoever used to fill your head with that nonsense turned into your internal voice. It's that scary. Like, that's why, like, being a parent, and I think about this often, about when I'll become a parent, it's how you talk to your child will become their internal voice. And I don't think people talk about that enough. So if you grew up and the person, your main caregivers, would scrutinize you every time you failed really harshly, or be quite brutal if you made a mistake, then obviously you're going to grow up doing the exact same thing in your head. And it's the same if they only grew up giving you love and affection when you were youthful or when you were overexerting yourself. You're going to tie your self-worth to that and think, well, this is how I get love, this is how I deserve stuff, this is how I deserve to be here. But it's far from the truth. I want you to imagine a baby. A baby doesn't have to do anything to be loved. It's not helpful, it's not productive, it's not impressive, it's not useful. It just is. That's what self-worth is. Somewhere along the way, someone taught us that we had to earn love, but that is, I need you to forget and unlearn that, because your worth was always there. You are the baby, and like nothing's changed. That worth that you and love and care that you're given from being a baby should carry with you for the rest of your life. You never stopped being worthy of that love, care, and attention when you were not productive and not useful or impressive to anyone. You still deserve that, but you have to give it to yourself now. So to close off this video, let's just unpack what isn't self-worth and what is self-worth. And I want you to just start being more conscious of how you talk to yourself, what behaviors you're exhibiting that are conditioning your brain to keep honoring that value of I need to be needed to be loved. Someone needing you isn't self-love. How perfect you are has nothing to do with your self-worth either. How many people approve of you has nothing to do with your self-worth. How many people rely on you, ask for your help, has nothing to do with your self-worth. Self-worth is about not feeling guilty to rest because you know you're worthy of it. Your body is worthy of it. Your body works so hard just to keep you alive and functioning. If it needs rest, you should give it that. You don't have to earn it first. You don't have to work hard. It's nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself, and talking nicely to yourself. If when you fail or you handle a setback, you say to yourself, "Oh, you idiot," that is negative self-talk, and that will just continue unraveling your self-worth. I need you to say, okay, I made a mistake there, I'm going to do better next time, and move on. Be nice. Talk to yourself how you would talk to a loved one or your child. Just think about what you say to people when they fail. I should hope that you're not a horrible person and you're nice to people when they fail. So that kindness that you offer people when they fail, how you talk to them is how you should talk to yourself as well. And I don't understand why people are like this. How can you be nice to everybody else and then mean to yourself? That makes zero sense. So just talk to your brain like it is a separate person, and that again will change how you view the world and how you treat yourself. Just trusting that you do not have to do anything to be worthy. You don't have to do, like, you breathing and living is enough. You don't need to take up space and show people you're interesting. You don't need to show people that they can rely on you, that you're helpful. You do not need to do that. You are a human being. You have, a personality. You have things to achieve, and you can just show up and just be worthy of whatever your heart desires. So let's start unlearning all the beliefs that made us think that we weren't allowed to dream or wish for big things. Thank you so much for sticking to the end of this video. Like I said, check out my first ever SPL video. Just start working on it. I'm gonna be posting these weekly, like I said before. And if you haven't already, follow me on Instagram, SoftPower Lifestyle. We have so much work to do to just get rid of all these beliefs and unlearn all this behavior so that you can just start living for you. So I'm so proud of you for being here and for watching this, and I would love to hear what you took from this video and what you're gonna leverage to start living for yourself and start living a softer, more powerful lifestyle. Thank you so much, love. Stay soft.